I'm bored. Let's talk about Nerdrotic. All right, so I haven't had a chance to check out this video entirely. I watched a little bit of it. It's the review for Captain America: Brave New World from Nerdrotic. But I've heard from several people it's a longer video and there's a lot to go over in it. So I will watch and react to this video at some point. But I want to talk about something a little different today. So it's a train of thought in my mind. So follow me with this. These guys believe and have said multiple times that Disney is evil. And that's not a word that you use lightly when you're referring to someone or something. When you say evil, you mean like immoral, wicked, just the worst possible thing. It's not really an insult. Like, you don't insult someone by calling them evil. Like, literally you call something evil because you believe deep down inside that there is something about it that is irredeemable. You can't fix it. And they have said this about Disney. Matter of fact, just to prove that they've said this, I'm just going to pull up. I have a tweet here from Nerdrotic because I know you guys in the comments are going to be like, when did they say that? Here's one, and this is one of many. Disney fired 28,000 people due to Gavin Newsom's lockdown. Both of you are evil. And the last time I checked, your emergency powers are still in place. So evil. So literally calling them evil. And this is not the only... That's not the only example of him doing that. There's video examples of him saying that. They believe that Disney is doing stuff like going after children. They believe that Disney is corrupting the youth. They believe that Disney is going after white men, going after straight people. This is their belief system. It is the foundation of why they want Hollywood to burn to the ground. This is why, supposedly, they make videos like this. We all know it's for the money. It's for the dollar bill, but they claim they're doing it for a greater good. Which means there would be no reprieve for Disney, regardless if there was a new CEO, regardless if there was a new person in charge of Star Wars, if they got rid of Kevin Feige. It doesn't make sense from that standpoint to believe that Disney as a corporation controlled by these outside sources, all of this behind the scenes, tinfoil hat stuff. It doesn't make sense to me that they would change their opinion about Disney in any way. They should be consistent about how they feel about any of the properties that Disney is in control of. So Marvel, Star Wars, and any of them, the cartoon stuff, all of those things, because they have called Disney evil. And you have to remember that. That is a very important thing here. So you're accusing a company of doing something so bad that you are willing to not engage with their content anymore. You're willing to tell people to boycott Disney, never go after it again, never watch or support anything Disney does. And then I see stuff like this. Daredevil Born Again looks brilliant. See stuff like this. Credit where credit is due. The marketing for Daredevil Born Again has been really good. So my question is, this goes out to all of the minions out there. Is Disney, as a company, is it wicked, evil, immoral? Is it all of these things that are irredeemable and you should not support them? No Disney Plus. That's a big one, right? No Disney Plus. So you shouldn't be doing Disney Plus. That's a massive one. These guys have gone all in on saying that Disney Plus is dying. They're not making any money. But here, this is them saying that Daredevil Born Again looks really good, which is fine. You can have that opinion in a vacuum. But when you have a platform like the one these guys have, and you've spent 5 years telling them to not engage with Disney content, it's awful. Don't go out and support this stuff. They're evil. They're wicked. When that is your platform, and then you swing around and you're like, oh, but actually Daredevil looks good. Now, we're not going to get into the nuance of why they believe that Daredevil looks good. That's a conversation for an entirely different video. Could have something to do with who the lead is, where the show originally came from. Again, we'll save that for later. But my point is, if you are somebody that is watching Nerdrotic or any of these other channels, and they have called these corporations vile, disgusting, immoral, going after children, if they have said those things in order to make it seem like, you know, they've gone after the actors, they've gone after people of color, they've gone after gay people, trans people, anybody involved with this company, to make it seem like it is an irredeemable company that is actually harmful to the world, then this seems very flippant and very much like, why are you supporting something from a company that you have been at odds with all of this time simply because the show looks good? Think about that. Because the show looks good. So you're willing to overlook all of your other issues with Marvel, all of the things you've ever said about them, all of the core ethics and morals and values that you presumably hold against Disney and Marvel as a company. You're willing to overlook all of that because the show looks good. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else out there, if you are somebody that supports Nerdrotic, if you're somebody that watches our content and you think that they are true blue and they really do give a fuck about all the things that I guess you guys give a fuck about, then you are completely lost. You're completely lost. There should be no reason why, if a show looks good to you, that you're willing to promote it in a positive way by saying things like this, if you believe the company that is making the show is doing immoral things to society. But then in the same breath, you are arguing that they are pandering and participating in capitalism for marginalized communities, and therefore when those communities go out and support the Disney stuff, there's something wrong with that. But when you deem it's okay to overlook whatever your ethical reasons are with Disney, if you're able to overlook that because you think that a show looks good, time to go get that Disney Plus subscription. There is something fundamentally wrong with the argument you're making. Fundamentally wrong. The structure is rotted. Something is completely lost here. That's all I gotta say.